Vaibhav Gaggar, who's a senior advocate, joining in now. He is authorized to make a statement on behalf of Miss Rani Kapur. Mr. Gaggar, first up, Miss Rani Kapur is alleging that she herself is likely to be the sole representative of the Kapoor family on the trust by virtue of being the beneficiary of the will. If you could tell us on paper, what is the kind of shareholding that Miss Rani Kapur has, which has been defined, and what are the further steps that need to be taken for her to actually put into effect this deferment request of the annual general meeting?
So Mrs. Rani Kapoor was the sole beneficiary as far as the will of Mr. Surinder Kapoor, late Shri Surinder Kapoor, is concerned, which was a registered will. Shri Surinder Kapoor was the founder and head of the Sona Group. And when he expired in 2015, there was a probated will with all the assets being given exclusively to Mrs. Rani Kapoor with a clear intent as to what she wanted to do and needed to do with the same. Insofar as what happens, your second part of the question as to what happens with the AGM, you're aware that she's written a letter to the shareholders and the board of directors. She has put down on paper quite explicitly how things have transpired, how there are, serious apprehensions as far as she's concerned in terms of the circumstances leading to the death, what has unfolded immediately post that. And it's a grieving mother who is very sure that what the headlines were when the death occurred, the facts and the headlines do not meet. In her head, this is not just a freak accident. She needs this looked into and investigated deeply, and she wants to get to the truth of the matter.
We do have our colleague Parikshit joining in as well to take a couple of questions. But before I toss to him, I just wanted to understand Aureus Investment Private Limited, which has 28% stake in the company, which is the largest shareholder of Sona BLW. Could you give us the sole beneficiaries or the shareholding pattern of Aureus Investment Private Limited itself? And then I'll hand it over to Parikshit.
So, as far as the shareholding patterns are concerned, those would be publicly available. What is clear is that it is the ownership of the Kapoor family and the Sona Group, because there's a web of companies which are involved in this entire thing. It's not just a singular company as far as the Sona Group is concerned. So those are issues which would be grappled if the matters are taken to court. Those are issues to be dealt with in court.
Now, the reason why I ask you this is because, I'm looking at the directors of Aureus Investment Private Limited. This is publicly available information. And the directors out there are Dinesh Kumar Agarwal, Sunjay Kapur, Priya, Sachdev Kapur. Miss Rani Kapoor's name is not there on the directors of that group as well. So we're just trying to understand the claim that she's making of being the largest shareholder in the company. On what basis is that claim?
So, as written in the letter as well, lots of suspicious circumstances have unfolded and are coming to light now. How various appointments were made, what the role of certain individuals that you have named in just right now, how did they come into being where they are, what were the documents which were signed, what was the manner in which they were brought about. All of these are matters which have to be looked into very carefully. And if this goes into court, all of these would be looked in by the courts.
So, Vaibhav, we believe that the board meeting is taking place today. And as far as the appointment of Priya Sachdev Kapur, that is what you're contesting. But she was the director of the promoter entity, Aureus Investments. If we go through the company documents, they show that in the absence of Sunjay Kapur, she has to play the role of director. Now, isn't that obvious that in case of his demise, the director of the promoter entity would be brought on board the company, and therefore she has been brought in as a non-executive director?
You would need to go a step further back and a few steps back as to what the shareholding of Aureus may be and how does anybody become a director in Aureus, who represents the interests of Aureus, and in turn, who represents, therefore, the interests of the Sona Group and the Kapoor family. I think it's very important to emphatically state that all these entities are, at the end of the day, part of the Kapoor family. And the Kapoor family is structured in a particular manner, starting all the way back from Sri Surinder Kapoor's will, that everything was meant to be exclusively with Mrs. Rani Kapoor so that she could ensure that the interests of the family is not usurped by anybody from outside. She has to make sure the family remains intact.
Vaibhav, does Miss Rani Kapoor or Sunjay Kapoor's sister have a stake in Aureus Investments? Would the stake be greater than that of Priya Sachdev Kapoor? Is there a will which says that in case of Sanjay's demise, the family, that is Rani Kapoor, has to be appointed on the board, or a person nominated by her has to be brought onto the board?
So Mrs. Rani Kapoor herself has been seeking documents, seeking information not just from the companies but even from individuals to say what has happened, how have things transpired, is there a will or not? You just asked me whether Sunjay Kapur has a will. She's still not aware, is there a will or not? And even in terms of was the shareholding in Aureus held by Mr. Sunjay Kapur in his personal capacity or not? Assuming it was, how would the flow go? If there is a will, what happens? If there is no will, then what happens? But as I said earlier, you need to go dig a lot deeper to see where it all starts from, to know how things have really unfolded now.
So you are going to contest this in court, Priya Sachdev's appointment?
It is going to be for Mrs. Rani Kapoor to take the call. She was very clear in her letter. She's not named anybody. She wants to try to get to the truth of the matter and ensure that nothing happens in the meanwhile which could prejudice the interests of the family or of the company for that matter. She's not named anyone quite consciously, I would imagine.
Right. You know, Mr. Gaggar, I'm again looking at the shareholding of Aureus. There are, as per publicly available information, 2 major shareholders, in which one of the boards does have Rani Kapoor. And you're obviously representing Rani Kapoor as her counsel, as her lawyer. Up until now, why was it that she did not stake her claim to be the representative of the Kapoor family's interest? It is, one just is wondering about the timing of this all.
Because until now, it was her son who was heading everything on her behalf. And therefore, she did not need to stake claim. Number 2, it is only post the demise that she was forced to start looking into the affairs because of the events that transpired. Number 3, she's very sure that something is amiss for it to be treated as a freak accident only. She wants to get to the truth of the matter. And number 4, today, she is the person who has to make sure that the family remains intact. Therefore, she's coming forth. In terms of what you said, that you found the timing to be strange, please look into the letter a little more carefully, because I thought it's quite explicit in her letter as to what all she's been asking for, what she's been made to do during the period of mourning. An 80-year-old lady loses a 55-year-old son, and the next few days she's made to sign documents in certain circumstances. I would imagine that would also be something which should be of matter concern to people.
Right. But you know, Mr. Gaggar, the fact is, and we spoke to Vivek Vikram Singh, the CEO of Sona Comstar, soon after Sanjay's demise, and just days after the board had taken a decision to appoint Jeffrey Mark Overly, who's a former top executive of Blackstone, as the chairman of the group, and he was already on the board of directors. Priya Sachdev Kapoor was brought on board as a non-executive director handling corporate social responsibility. She did not have an active role in the day-to-day running of the company, so to say. And that's what Sanjay always wanted. He wanted this to be a professionally run company. And that's exactly what the board is doing. And the people who are now heading the board were appointed by him himself. So do you, in a way, feel that the board was respecting, wouldn't you agree that the board was respecting the wishes of Sunjay Kapur itself?
I think that's something which is a huge leap of faith and a speculation over here. Mrs. Kapoor does not believe that these were the wishes of her demised son. she believes that something horribly amiss has happened over here. And she believes that it's important to get to the truth of the matter as to what the wishes of the son would be or what the wishes of the mother would be. I think that's best left for time to tell, because there are too many murky circumstances surrounding this. So I wouldn't hazard a guess of what Mr. Sunjay Kapur's wish would be. I don't have an insight into his mind now, for sure.
Finally, Mr. Gaggar, my final question to you. What would you be expecting now in the interim? What is the kind of relief that you're seeking from the board as an immediate effect?
I think the last line of the letter is quite clear. She's only requested to defer this by 2 weeks so that, and to be granted access to the documents and information which has been, withheld from her all along, despite her constantly writing to some of the names that you just took right now as well. Hopefully, she would be provided the information and she would be able to make a decision on the way forward.
All right. Thank you very much, Vaibhav Gaggar, for joining us. The AGM of Sona Comstar takes place today at 1 p.m. Let's see what happens over there. Rani Kapur, the mother of the former chairman of Sona Comstar, who died during a polo match in the UK, has now contested the decisions of the board of Sona Comstar, saying that these are not in good faith and there should be a 2-week hold on whatever decisions have been taken till the time she's able to access all the documents related to the changes that are taking place. With that, it's back to you in the studios.
Okay, Pariksha, thank you so much for that. So this is something important that we'll be keeping an eye out on as well. If this AGM finally actually goes through at 1 p.m, we'll keep an eye out on the details coming in from there as well. And the letter especially that has come in from Rani Kapoor will be key to watch out for. But important updates coming in from Vaibhav Gaggar. On that note, actually, let's just slip into a very short break. We'll be back and we'll be discussing more on market stock-specific action on the other side, and especially on the India-UK FTA. What companies are going to be seeing benefits there. We'll be joined by Pallab Banerjee of Pearl Global, Nitin Panwar of Vaibhav Global, as well as Tausif Mirza of Mirza International joining in with us to discuss all of that.